Welcome to another episode of Project Dirty Willy. In this episode, we have rock lights. Like I said, in this episode, we have some rock lights. These are from LEDGlow. They sent these out to us. So a huge thanks to those guys for sending out all of these products. We're going to get the camera in here a little bit closer and show you what's in the box. And we have a whole bunch of stuff in here. We have our LED chips. I believe there's 8 of these and they're separated out into pairs. So there's 4 pairs. These are the LED chips themselves. These things are pretty big. They're all metal and then encased in acrylic. And then they have their own wiring for each pair. You have what looks like your main harness to where all of the lights connect into each other. They're like a waterproof screw-on connection. It's kind of cool. We have our instructions, some hardware, an inline fuse, and a whole bunch of zip ties. Then we have a metal push-button switch. I think what I'm going to do is kind of set this up and lay it all out on the floor, and kind of like the position of how you would have it installed on your Jeep, and then turn it on so you can see how bright it is and everything. This is a really cool setup. It would make it really easy, for a DIY kind of person to do out in your your driveway or in your garage. You would just basically run your wires and use the 3M adhesive. You can get this with some optional 3M adhesion promoter, and I would really recommend getting that. I have a whole bunch of it. It just helps these stick a lot better. And then you would basically run all your wires and then plug everything in, and it should be a pretty simple plug and play kind of setup. So like I said, we'll set it out on the floor and see how easy it is to connect everything up and turn it on and see how bright it is. And then I'll go about figuring out how I want to go about installing this, because I don't think I'm going to do it like a typical rock light setup. I guess that's enough talking about it. Let's get this thing set up on the floor and see what it looks like. So that's them all hooked up to our little test battery. The test battery was sitting at 12.7 volts. These put off a lot more light than I thought they would. There's no lights whatsoever on here in the garage, so without these it would be completely dark in here. It's not like super bright in the garage itself, but these put out a lot more light than I thought they would. This one over here, I know it probably looks a little different, at least it does on my viewfinder. That's just because it's kind of turned. Like if I go over here and move it, it's because the wires are stiff and they're not attached to anything. If you lay it flat, it goes back to looking like the others. It's just because it's kind of turned is the only reason why it looks a little different. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this is just, a quick test setup, just to kind of lay it out like it would be on a Jeep without the Jeep actually being in frame here. So you can see that we have all of the lights on. Try to show them all to you here. And then we'll go over here to our little test setup. You can see that we have our test battery with a little maintainer on it just to keep it at a steady voltage. So it looks like we're staying pretty steady at, I would say, 1.12. It looks like, it kind of fluctuates around a little bit, but yeah, I would say on average, because it does drop, around 1.1 amps at 12.46 volts. The volts are steady. I know that's standing voltage. That's not like if the vehicle was running or anything like that. But we can still kind of do a rough calculation on how many watts this setup is. We'll use the simple formula of amps times volts. We'll just do 1.1 amps times, we're still at 12.46 volts. So it looks like 13.7, so I'd say about 14 or 15 watts. So if we did that, and then let's see, there's 8 of these. So about 2 watts per chip. That's a surprising amount of light for 2 watts per chip at only 1.1 amps. That's not drawing a whole lot of power, and you're getting quite a bit of output for it. So they're really, really efficient. And like I said, they're really large chips. So I think that's how we're getting the efficiency out of these. Okay, so I went with the idea of courtesy lights, like I was saying, and I'm not sure if that's the correct term, but by courtesy lights, I mean, right below the doors, basically. So, you open up the door and you drop something. And then you could be out on the trail, or you could just be in a dark parking lot. You open up the door and you drop something, and, have you ever had something roll underneath the vehicle and you can't see under there? So I kind of made it to where it just lights up underneath the door. I only ended up using 2 pairs of the LEDGlow rock crawl lights, so that's 2 on each side for a total of 4 LED lights. As you can see, if you had dropped something down here, you'd be able to see underneath here to get it. I do kind of wish they came out a little bit further this direction, but these rock sliders, I think, are kind of blocking the way for that. So that's it for another episode of Project Dirty Willy. As you saw, we installed the LEDGlow rock crawl lights. We didn't install them exactly how they were intended to be installed. We did what I keep calling the courtesy lights. If that's the wrong term, somebody let me know in the comments. It's just the first thing that popped to mind was courtesy lights. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and a huge thanks to LEDGlow for sending this out. So if you came across this video and you're not a subscriber or you're new to the channel, make sure to go into my channel and check out a couple other videos. I've got all kinds of different stuff in there. I've got playlists and stuff of all different kinds of things. So check a few of those out. And if you find a video that you like, hit the like button. If you have something to say, leave it down in the comments. And if you find a couple videos that you like, make sure to subscribe to my channel.